Do you ever get nervous when you meet people and they haven't met you before, when you speak about, do you need to let them know, or do you just hope that they're intelligent enough to understand? How does that make you feel when you meet new people?
When I meet people for the first time, it's always nerve-wracking. Just because I can't really hide the fact that I'm deaf. It's very obvious from the first time that you meet me, from the first thing I say, I've got this accent, I've got the hearing aid. It's not anything that's going to be, kind of flying under the radar, I guess. So I'm always nervous when I meet new people because I don't know how they'll respond. When they hear my accent, you can see it in their face. There's something off, but I don't know what. And then they see the hearing aid, they put two and two together, and then you see something kind of shift in their thinking. Sometimes it's, oh, she's deaf. And they proceed as if it was a normal conversation. More often than not, they change the way they talk to me. They talk really loudly, really slowly, with exaggerated voice. I also have people who make up sign language. And it's funny because I don't know sign language. I know it's made up. I know enough sign language to know it's fake sign language. But they'll fake sign at me. And yeah, they just move their hand in front of them. And that is counterintuitive too, because I need to see your mouth. And so when you're signing in front of your mouth, you're blocking your lips. So I really can't understand anything you're saying. I can't understand what is coming out of your mouth, and I can't understand your fake sign language. So I also have sometimes where people will meet me for the first time, and they are so thrown by my accent that they just shut down and stop listening. So if I go to, say, a coffee shop and I order a cappuccino, they don't hear the part where I say cappuccino. They only hear the part where I say good morning. And then they're thrown by my accent that they stop listening and they start thinking too much.
Do other people in the deaf community who only do sign language, do you feel sort of you have one leg in one world and one leg in the other? Do you ever feel that way?
It's interesting to see the deaf community because I'm not a part of it. I'm too deaf for the hearing world, and I'm not deaf enough for the deaf world. The deaf community is wonderful. They have this wonderful culture and identity that they hold very tightly. Their language, their pride, their support system for other deaf people is really wonderful. But I don't know their language, and I have a hearing aid, and I was mainstreamed in so-called normal school. I've never really been a part of the deaf community. What's so interesting about that is as an adult, I've had other deaf people come to me and say, you're deaf, and I was wondering if you could help me. And I try to help as best as I can, but when I do, or when I am in the deaf community in some capacity, I'm often told I'm a bad representative of the deaf community. I'm a bad example for deaf people. And to be fair, I'm a bad example for hearing people too. So I'm cool with that. I don't need to be a representative of anybody other than myself. But I also don't need to be made less than in any community because I'm not deaf enough or I'm not hearing enough. I'm just me, I'm here, deal with it.
Like being deaf is not your only story.
Yeah, I always say that even though it's the first thing that you notice about me, it's not the thing that defines me. And I wish that was easier for me to convey to people right off the bat, because most people shut down and they only know me as the deaf person. They don't learn that I'm also a writer, I'm a college professor, I'm a runner, I've done Ironman triathlons, I've traveled the world. There's so much more to me. And if you were to take the time to talk to me and listen to me, you would know that. But you just say, oh, she's deaf, and then the interaction stops.
Would it make you comfortable if somebody said, oh, are you hearing it? Because I don't see your hearing aid right now because of your hair. But I can tell from your voice, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Would it make you comfortable to someone say, oh, are you hearing impaired? Do you read lips? I mean, would it make you comfortable if someone just came out and said, what's the best way to communicate with you?
I appreciate when people say, do you need to see my face? Do you need a sign language interpreter? And that's what I think misunderstood about the deaf community, is that it's not just hearing or deaf. There's so many shades of it in between. And so if people would just stop and take a moment to say, what do you need? And we can just check in with each other. We can make that a very pleasant interaction.